sort of my own kind of experience between doing Q&As as a producer or a presenter in New York, which I was for a while, and doing them here, is that I think sometimes the place in which the artist is at in their process really determines a particular kind of thing that they would like to get from people. So for those of you who were here for Yasuko's Q&A, I was telling Patrick this earlier, I think it was interesting because for her, she didn't even want to come up here. She wanted to stay in the back. She didn't really want to have a dialogue, which is usually Q&As are more kind of back and forth. But all she wanted, and I mean all in the kind of biggest, widest kind of sense, is that she wanted to just hear people's just responses, and that's it. And she didn't want any kind of discussion around it. She just wanted to gather all of that material. So we're asking Patrick what would be useful for him. And so you said it.
Yeah.
You said it in the beginning.
I would.
So you want to say it again?
And I'll repeat it, and maybe I can ask it even more specifically. So there are sort of right now, as of the birth of this kind of tonight, 3 versions of this show. There's the big cast version that I mentioned before. And in January, in order to get to this step, I did what I called the totally unplugged version, where it was just Whitman alone on stage talking. But now we've worked to begin to reintegrate the dance back into sort of a one-man show. And what I'm curious to know is what you think seeing the videos contributes that you wouldn't have if it was just me here without the videos. So that's really like the main course of my question and what I'd be interested in. Any just impressions, questions, things that you saw that you liked, that you were pleased with, but especially in regards to what the video being projected as it was adds to what you can imagine maybe the piece would be without it. Yeah.
I think something would have been lacking without it, or the whole presentation would be a little bit more like other one-man shows of just talk, or one-women shows.
Mm-hmm.
And also, a lot of us have an intellectual idea of homosexual love, but we don't really, it's not real physical to us. And having the background is what contributes to that, so that we get a deeper understanding and reality. But at the same time, at least in this studio, it was a little too vague and fuzzy. We couldn't really tell what was, at least I didn't always know what was going on. And adding to that, if you're talking about people, it's always nice to see a photograph. Were they the real photographs of the people, or were they?
Mostly, yes.
Mostly.
Yeah. So when
But
I talk
I
about
think that
like Peter
focuses.
Doyle and Bill Duckett and all of those were.
So there's a balance between the physical reality and the sort of, otherwise maybe almost like a dreamland story.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole thing was just so beautifully well wrought and very compelling.
Thank you.
I wondered if there was, because I was in love with images and that kind of thing, and that's, I wondered if there was, if you were applying sort of a dramatic tension with your audience by denying us focus, by denying us the enjoyment of images. And so there were some images I said, I just need to see it bigger. So that was one thought that I had. But I wondered if, because then you go and you sort of move it out, and it's like, now I can be much broader and sort of revealing, and that's one of the thoughts that I had with regard to that. I like the multiplicity of both image and talk and conversation, and seeing a live actor. That, for me, feel like that I'm in the writer's head. I'm experiencing kind of how they, take an idea, a word, but it has, resonance or reverberations of different, ideas. The other thing I thought was perhaps, I thought there was a missed opportunity with the shadow play. I wanted to see you engage with the shadow because I felt like the idea, the concept of the shadow with the language and the